loves a woman. Well, that's not really what this quote said. As often happens when I'm about to start live streaming, I see the feed on my phone. In this particular instance, the feed said, when a man goes a long time without sex, dot, dot, dot. Well, good morning, Acacia. It's early, isn't it? It's actually almost 8 a.m. That's about as late as I ever get up. I slept and slept last night. But anyway, I don't know what the end of the quote said when a man goes a long time without sex. But then I looked at the quote a little bit and it said, kind of a funny quote. It said, people are strange. They get angered by trivial matters, but don't seem to notice about important things like wasting their life. Hey, sometimes wasting your life is an important thing to do. You can't spend all your time being productive. I mean, dear God, what are we? Beavers? Bees? Do we need to be that busy? Are we beaver bees? The busiest creature in the world? Half beaver, half bee? I'm not that busy, but I don't feel like I'm wasting my life. I'm feeling like I'm spending my life trying to get wasted. Big difference. Trying and failing to get wasted. Everyone's like, hi, those will be doing important things. I'm like, hi, I'm doing important things. I'm smoking bog rips. Jeez. Productivity Nazis. Everybody needs to stop being such a productivity Nazi, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, a lot of us are wasting our lives. So, what's wrong with that? You use the word wasting, I use the word enjoying. I'm in a much better mood this morning than I was yesterday, day before that. I feel fully rested, and I'm no longer, I have purged my system of real estate. Fortunately. I gotta tell you, I am not happy with our realtor, though. And I don't think I'm gonna use him again because he almost had us purchasing a product that was not what he was positioning it as. He was telling us we were gonna get 2 rentals on one piece of property for a price that made a lot of economic sense for 2 rentals. It didn't make economic sense for 1 rental, and I had to find that out from the listing agent. Yeah, well, we're not talking real estate today. Okay, I just did briefly foray into real estate for a second, but I want to assure you, Carlos Paiva, that if I go start talking about real estate again, you are hereby empowered to double burn me, and I will have to put on twice as much aloe as you did the other day. So I am determined to not spend time talking about that subject, that horrible, horrible subject. History's worst topic. Instead, we're talking about a holiday week of holiday cheer that's coming up right now, this week, and we're gonna have Christmas decorations. We're gonna have guests. Oh, should go to the grocery store today. Rachel's talking about getting up. You like talking about asset stuff, actually. Well, that makes one of us, Carlos Pay. But what's here I go again. I'm immediately gonna break my rule. The thing is, if you're gonna do rentals, you have to get something. If you want to get the proper kind of return on your investment in the neighborhood of, 240. No, you don't, Acacia. You do not get a wonder point for that. You could spend four something, a little bit more than four, and get two rentals. It'd be worth it. But $320 for one rental is not worth it. For one rental plus an unrentable workshop. Oh, sure, we could have done a remodel on that one place and it would have destroyed its cuteness. And who knows what kind of trouble you're getting into when you start getting the building permits and stuff. A lot of trouble, that's what you get into. Potentially. So we pulled out of that thing in the nick of time, and hooray for us. I feel like a proud papa. I'm very much looking forward to guests, but I also realize that we got a little bit of housework to do before we're going to have the actual guests here. We've got to vacuum. I should bring the trash cans in from the curb. They picked up Monday, but I never bring them in before Tuesday. Monday night, forget about it. There's no chance I'm bringing the trash cans in Monday night. Like just about every single crypto right now is blowing up. I told Delilah to buy Cardano. She didn't, of course. But it's up 3 cents. From 38 cents to 41 cents. I saw an article, the headline yesterday, it says, what are Chat GPT's odds of Cardano hitting $20 in 2024? Oh, sure, I could do it myself. What do I look like? Some kind of investor guy? I don't think so. Watched the football game last night. It was an excellent football game. One of the best NFL games I've seen in a long time. Bengals versus the Jaguars. Bengals won in overtime on a field goal. But it was an exciting game. Back and forth, back and forth. And then I agree with you, Carlos Pay. Cardano reaching $20, I would say 0% chance in 2024 of Cardano reaching $20. But I think there's a very good chance of it reaching $1. And if Delilah had bought it at 38 cents, like I told her to, and sold it somewhere between 76 cents and $1, we'd have doubled our money plus get paid taxes as well, Of course, now at 41 cents, it's still a good buy in my opinion. But until Bitcoin splits, crypto is just gonna keep going up. It's my opinion. Bitcoin's over 40 grand again. I remember after my dad died, shortly after that, I saw it was down to $16,000, and I was like, whew, what a terrible time to buy Bitcoin. It's going down, down, down. I was so wrong. Now it's at 41,000 again. I wish I had bought a bunch of it at 16, you know? But obviously, if wishes and nuts were Christmas and bust, then we'd all shut up for once. Right, well, I wish I had bought it at 16, but I didn't. You know, that's why I'm saying Cardano right now. It's way below its peak. Its peak was like $3. And if their thing called Voltaire works, then it might shoot way up. Anyway, the point is, hopefully everybody remembers that I was saying buy Cardano when it was at 38 cents because I believe I will be proved right. Of course, if you really believe that, Eric, why don't you buy Cardano? I told Delilah to buy it. But she doesn't listen to me. Unless I make like a big deal about it. Like, no, listen, Delilah, we are formally investing in this fashion. She will not listen to me. If I tell her we're buying this house, she'll listen to me. If I tell her you should buy 10 grand worth of Cardano, she will not listen to me. I guess the reason it's easier to get her to begin buying a piece of property and send a deposit, 1% deposit and everything, which she already did, which we'll get back, is because it's just inherently safer investment. I know it's only at 40 cents. Bitcoin is obviously at $41,000. It's doing substantially better. But, you know, like, if I bought Bitcoin at $16,000 even, I still wouldn't have tripled my money. Whereas, and it's gone from 16,000 to 41,000. Whereas if Cardano goes from 40 cents to $3, well, that's a lot better, you know? I think that's, I don't know, it's just psychology, you know? Like, Corey bought a whole shit ton of, what's it called? The stuff they use on the dark web to buy stuff with. It's like, it used to be called Darkcoin, but then changed its name to something else. Anyway, he bought a bunch of that stuff at 25 cents a piece. It's like $168 each now or something. That's that's doing well on crypto. Well, they've got a couple of new things coming down the road, Carlos Paeva. It's already been at $3. That was its peak, it was like $3. Lila's overweighting the fact that her boyfriend lost money on Cardano. But it's pretty close to its bottom. Its bottom is 21 cents or something. Anyway, Carlos Paiva, I agree with you that that you can always come up with reasons to invest or stay away from a given crypto. Like maybe you want to bet on Inu Shiba and hope for a repeat of Dogecoin. It's so speculative, right? Like all the various advantages / elements of cryptocurrency that makes it go up or down. They're not concrete like quarterly earnings statements from from a corporation. It's all psychology. Yeah, they have utility potentially, but the only ones that get used as currencies are your truly dark coins, like the SEC's distinction on whether or not there's an ICO as to whether something qualifies as a security and what qualifies as an ICO. Yeah, these rules make sense, but it's also abstract. But accordingly, by being treated like a security in the marketplace, things have a certain amount of legitimacy accordingly, By being regulated by the SEC, it's hard to say it's a Ponzi scheme, But I'm no expert on crypto. I want to stress this. I don't claim to be an expert on crypto. I do claim that crypto is a place where if you're going to use your intuition to invest at all, there's where you should use it. Okay, all right. All right, plaintive meows. Okay. I'm coming. Let's watch you eat. There. Now it's not just me, but 3 additional people who are watching you eat. so you won't feel so alone. Oh, buddy. You're my buddy. You're always right next to me. This cat sleeps right next to me, pushed up against me all night long. He likes to sit next to me, or at least where he can keep an eye on me. He's a good kitty. But he's also a pain in the butt. I'm learning to feel better, I think, with his anxious attachment style. Let me just try to accommodate his neediness as much as possible. What a terrible day to have a power outage on Friday. Friday the 8th, we have a power outage. Now, sure, we have a generator. I guess we'll probably be running it. But it's loud AF. What a good kitty. What a happy kitty. What a successful eater. Trouble is a very good kitty. Yes, he is a very good kitty. You know what I think, little mister? I think you've probably eaten enough at this point. Don't you? Not quite. This cat eats so much, it's ridiculous. I have no idea how you manage to eat so much food, Trouble. You know what would be wonderful, what I wish would happen? I wish it would snow on Saturday. That would be the best. Saturday evening. Just a little bit of snow, you know, to make it all Christmassy. Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that regulation will make them less volatile, and probably many of them are above their peak. I mean, their eventual, like, they're above their eventual, like, mean or whatever you want to call it. But, you know, I suspect there's still a ways to go, at least until Bitcoin splits or doubles or whatever they call it. So, I'm gonna go poo. I'm not sure if I really have to go poo right now. I felt like I did earlier. Now, I'm having poo uncertainty disorder. Well, I guess I should get more toilet paper. Regardless. I trouble. I'll put this bag in the can while I'm in there. Cameron got us a big box of these rolls of toilet paper when we moved in. It's lasted us almost an entire year. But, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good return on your toilet paper investment. If I don't know how much a box of those rolls of toilet paper costs, but it's got to be a lot cheaper than buying the equivalent amount of toilet papers in a smaller amount. Well, if I'm a super responsible boy, let's pretend I put on my responsible boy pants today. What would I accomplish if I were to put on my responsible boy pants? Well, one thing I might accomplish is I might go grocery shopping before Rachel gets up. If I were to do that, well, that would be helpful. However, Rachel was talking about getting up at 10 a.m. today. Is she actually going to do that? Well, that's what she said, and she doesn't normally say things like that. That's a very unusual thing for her to say. So because she doesn't have a history of being like me and being like, well, I'm thinking I'll get up tomorrow, but we'll have to see. You know, she doesn't have a history of being like that. I could probably operate under the assumption that she will, in fact, get up and shower at 10 o'clock. It's already almost 8:30. At that point, one supposes I might as well wait for her. Oh, hey there. Hi, good to see you. I'm Eric, your internet friend. A long time ago, I started an internet called Talking with Famous People. The rest, as they say, is history. So I do kind of wonder, you would make your bid about a defensible case for cognitive functions. Oh, well, it's not what I'm thinking about at all. Not remotely anywhere close to my list of priorities. I'm thinking much more along the lines of going to the grocery store, cleaning the house, answering some emails. Boom. I'd clean the house while listening to funny debates. I don't listen to debates. I don't want to think about that while I'm doing my chores. That's another kind of work. I kind of have to be on speed to be to be able to do that stuff, to be motivated to do that stuff. I should dance. Well, I probably will do some voguing today, Kay. I like to get in at least a little bit of voguing every day. But besides that, well, it's part of my new course called voguing. Voguing is a unique combination of voguing and yoga that will open your third eye and let all your chakras pour onto the floor. Well, I know we do. The floor does get messy, but that's just the power of voguing. The thing is, here's the fact about chores. Yes, chores are made easier when you're listening to music in general. No, not lots of saxes and stuff. No, a minimal amount of saxophones is what's required. Oh, I was really surprised. I mean, I don't know why it surprised me so much, but to hear that one lady I typed tell me all this shit about C.S. Joseph being so culty, I I'd heard people say that before, but as soon as you start saying like the alpha male should have lots of different women, then you really start sounding culty. Hearsay, keep in mind, allegedly, I have not verified this. I do not want to go into C.S. Joseph's community at all. KE coming in and saying, today I'm an ESFP and behaving accordingly. He has a theory that we will move to polygamy with the alpha males having all the bitches. Oh, God. What? I. Oh, God. Like, what in the world is he thinking? Closer to polygamy? Only in the media, really. I think people have always had probably the same variety of sexual proclivities they do now. It's just that in the past, there wasn't any effort to legitimize stuff that deviated from certain norms. Well, the good news is none of us is society. We each get to decide for ourselves what we want to do. You mean guys have fewer sexual partners and women have more? Yeah, well, that's not surprising. It's probably always been like that. Again, Carlos Paiva, that's always been the case. Look at Genghis Khan and his DNA and all that stuff, right? I mean, sure, there's probably a larger portion of the male population that's that's trapped in some sort of cycle of not being reproductively viable due to a variety of realities. Just not so much having to do with whether or not you're alpha male or whatever, but having to do with a combination of inherent qualities in particulars, I guess. So, anyway, I think people make a lot too much of a big deal about society and forget that they're individuals whose own actions, choices, behaviors are not indicative of society's choices, actions, and behaviors, but are instead autonomous. The people who freak out about changing mores or who come up with grand theories to explain them are just trying to impose certain mores, right? As norms. They're not trying to explain something. They're not even trying to predict something. They're trying to create something. That should be clipped as a short. Because that was like, bam! Exactly right on the money. That's why you pay the big bucks to watch this show, folks. That's why you do it. That's why you spend the money to get tickets to come see this show. For insights like that. I figured out what to do with our pumpkins, by the way. Arkisha, are you ready to shoot a pumpkin with a rifle? That's my question. I had this thought last night. Hey, we got guests coming up. I know, mister. I know. Okay, the squirrel's looking at me so. The squirrel's killing me with this look. I cannot even look at it. He's like, where are the cutlets? I'm like, I don't have any cutlets. So, anyway, pumpkin, you know, I don't know. How long away are you supposed to be from the thing you're shooting at? I know, mister. I know. You want cutlets so badly. Like, so many people get maps backwards. They're trying to map things as they want them to be to justify their behavior rather than mapping things as they are and then seeing if their behavior is justified. Map becomes Pam. Polyandry, though. Tibet. You failed as an ESFP today. You can't sustain it for long, okay? It's hard. It's not who you are. You are a rarity, Kay. You're an ENTP who comes around here. Don't have many of those. Usually we're like, hey, stop being like me. I don't like that. I think that's the usual approach. No, you are. Shut up already. Maybe I'm just that cool. How about that, number 3? You forgot about number 3. Maybe I'm that cool. Maybe it's just like, well, at least I understand this guy. I understand who he is. And he's even lazier than me. So that makes me feel better about myself. So Keisha, yeah, you're down? You want to shoot a pumpkin with a rifle? With a 22? It's not gonna blow up or anything, it's a 22. It's just gonna probably go right through it. But I still think, why did I consider myself reproductively inviolable? Well, I guess just too intuitive, you know? I grew up reading a bunch of Swords and Dragons books in which all the girls were virgins and, preserving themselves for the hero who earns their whatever. It's like, you You can't go through life dealing with chicks like that and expect to get any action. But now I don't consider myself reproductively inviable. I consider myself married. Marriage number 3. And in fact, I intend to engage in sexual intercourse today because yesterday was the last day of Rachel's vaginal blood sploosh splash party that she holds every month. Right, the hero who earns their badge by being heroic and virtuous and thereby earning the girl's virtue. Do you want to shoot a pumpkin? Do you want to shoot it with a gun? Do you want to shoot a pumpkin? 'Cause I have two, not one. And we'll take them out to the woods and we'll shoot them with a gun. Men have been liberated, Eric. That's why men don't have to do much anymore. Yeah, well. Obviously, beta males like me find that scary. And in response to fear, some men think the answer is to try to become like alpha males, but it's ridiculous. The reality is a sad one, I think, but it's that your boss ruined again your presentation. Sorry to hear that. It's just that it's in general it's well, it's complicated. Well, shooting a pumpkin is an aiming game. Okay, sure. And I'll tell you, this 22 rifle is very gentle to shoot. It's not doesn't have a lot of like kickback or anything. It's not even very loud. So I successfully hit a target one time. I'm with you, KE. Have you explained that to your boss's boss? You weren't invited to what? You're invited to shoot a rifle. Oh, you only have one layer of leadership above you. That sucks. I don't expect Rachel to carry half of any load. I just expect her to be a good teammate. You know, it's different. She has to carry all the load of my cock, of course. Yeah, no one's invited to that party occasion. I might be invited to, but I don't want to go. So basically, nobody's invited to the Splish Splash party except Rachel. Somebody is gonna be like, "Hey, why are you even holding this monthly Splish Splash party? You're the only one who ever attends it." Well, maybe KE is because the others are on their vaginal blood Splish Splash party. Maybe they need to get one so they can stop being such dicks and losers. I have one. I was on my vaginal blood Splish Splash party the last few days too. I just have it emotionally. Kitty, I have watched you eat so much already, you cannot possibly need me to watch you eat again. It's ridiculous. You do not need me to watch you eat. You're just being controlling. You just want me to sit at the kitchen table with you. You've got to be kidding me, right? Come on. Are you serious? You want to eat more? I already watched you eat so much. Oh, my buddy. You're such a buddy. We've got 3 of 4 quadras represented in the house with an ISTJ, ENTP, INFJ, and ENFJ. This cat. You may say, well, why does he want to eat so much if he's an ENFJ? Because I think he just likes me to sit at the table with him and pet him. So he just eats as an excuse to do that. I think it just makes him feel comforted. Oh, yes. You're a good kitty. You had a tough life as a tomcat before joining our family. So he no doubt is healing from trauma. Traumatic fights with possums and stuff, you know. Are you healing from trauma? Yes. Oh, yes. You have AIDS. Yes, Trouble has AIDS. But we don't discriminate against him just because he has AIDS. After all, you know who else had AIDS? Eazy-E. And you know who else had AIDS? No one. That's it. Just Trouble and Eazy-E. Oh, Taylor Swift. She got cat AIDS from Trouble. I knew you were trouble when you walked in. You gave me cat AIDS. Oh, kitty, how can you possibly eat so much food? I know you're a big cat, but seriously. Okay, didn't like that hand because it was slightly damp. There. My left hand is not damp at all. Can you believe it? Can anybody here believe how much time I spend watching this cat eat? Does it just defy any kind of reality? Yeah, it's okay because Trouble has Kool-Aids. He doesn't have regular aids. Well, it's pushing 9 a.m. Women be working a full-time job, making him food, and pregnant with his baby while having been pregnant previously with another. That's a crime. Well, I mean, I think both men and women are unhappy with the status quo when it comes to like dating. But Rachel and I are both happy in our relationship, and I get that that's hard to come by or whatever. Like, we've got kind of an old school relationship in the sense that I don't expect much from Rachel, and I never will. Because I understand Rachel, and she needs to be useful on her terms and, and on her timing. And that's all there is to it. But I'm SE8, so I don't believe in SE a whole lot, Some people do. Certainly, I don't believe in TE a whole lot, and I don't expect any TE from Rachel. Like, as I was stressing out over, okay, I'm going to say the words again, real estate. Rachel will be like, what's wrong? I'm like, well, I'm crunching these numbers in my head, and I'm just stressing out, making sure that we've accounted for everything. She's like, oh, right, that. She's like, wasn't thinking about it at all. She was just going off the fact that I was stressed and it was making her kind of stressed as well. No, I said you do not get a 100 point every time I say those words. Um, you know, so Lila and I deal with the financial stuff. I include her in all the decision making and stuff, but because she's TE polar, she doesn't have a lot of opinions about that, you know? Well, here's the thing, Diamond and Carlos, the key point that you're missing. Each of us is an individual who has an individual relationship with another individual person. And how that plays out is not indicative of men or women in general. So, yes, Rachel and I have a very happy relationship, and it's pretty traditional, right? Um, she's a housewife, and I guess I'm uh, whatever I am. I don't know. A trust fund baby. No, Rachel does not try to finish my sentences or guess what I'm thinking. She listens to me like a receiver does, you know? That's what an action type does. Action and the one or two. But Rachel's also distracted by her phone a lot, you know? So it's not like she's just listening to me all the time. She spends a lot of time playing on her phone. Well, I guess that's fourth slot any Legends Fall. I guess that must be what that is. I'm going outside to slaughter a hog? No. No, but wasn't gonna say that. I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? I'm going to the store. Do I want you to purchase the store? No. Do you want me to get you anything from the store? To put on my head? No. This is when a man, as usual, I started this stream. My phone puts on this like auto feed thing, and it's one of those quotes videos. And the title of that video was "When a man goes a long time without sex." Dot dot dot. But I don't know what the end of the quote is. It might be he starts doing karate. When a man goes a long time without sex, he starts doing karate. I think that's a fair quote. When a man goes a long time without sex, he gets more horny. It's a fair quote. Up to a point, then he gets less horny. After my second marriage, after a brief tryst, I I said, I'm not paying any more attention to this stupid shit. And I didn't for like a whole year. It was bad for my prostate. Be kind to your prostate, and your prostate will be kind to you. I know, squirrel. Oh god, the squirrels make me feel so guilty. I can't even smoke out here. I just can't. The squirrel's killing me. I guess it's just my FI polar kicking in. So like I can walk inside and forget about the squirrel for a little bit, but now it's gonna be even more difficult. Testosterone has been dropping like crazy recently. Again, this is something that may happen to individual people, not to men in general, even if numbers suggest that's occurring. It doesn't explain anything to you about you and your relationship, right? Even if you are very non-monogamous, even if you're very, what's the word? Promiscuous, that's the word. Even if you're very promiscuous, you still end up having relationships, no matter how brief, with single individuals, even if it's in a group, you know? Well, anyway, such stuff makes me sad for the world, happy for me, I guess. So I've been in a relationship with the same person for a long time now. I've been in a relationship with Rachel for over 4 years now. I think mostly it's single people who care a lot about that stuff. They feel themselves moved by greater forces, you know. It's also the case that for most people who are active, productive in the world, they've got a lot of their life and time and stuff carved out in certain ways. It can be hard for people to find room for a partner. If both people are active and productive people, you know, there's only so much time for each other to be carved out. It makes it hard to really bond, you know? it's a sad subject. It makes me sad because, it's like we all have so much of our vulnerabilities involved in intimacy. And I see our discussions about intimacy to be like Rorschach tests that convey our own vulnerabilities regarding intimacy more than anything else. And certainly I have plenty of vulnerabilities. It's like everybody, on some level you're going to feel vulnerable, either like empty, like I'm not having any emotional connections, or scared, like I might get emotionally attached, the other person might not. Those kind of things. It's always scary to get into a boat with somebody because you only find out as you're traveling whether they're a good boat partner or not. Of course, once you're out to sea, then you need to make sure your boat partner is reliable. I guess I need to put some more of this because it's a mix of two different kitty litters, that's why. Oh, you couldn't even see what I was doing. Probably like I was imagining you were thinking, why are some of the parts of the kitty litter darker than others? Because I poured the leftover kitty litter into the old kitty litter, into the other kitty litter. That's why. Creating a special blend of kitty litters. A special blend of fair trade kitty litters. It's proprietary, of course. Yeah, I've always been skinny. I'm a little more filled out now than I was when I was a kid, As a teenager, I was very skinny. That's not necessarily like women don't go gaga over super skinny guy. but but it does help to be tall, you know. That's I was appalled as we started watching this um, Australian dating show thing. We take in like the hottest single males in Australia plus the hottest single females in Australia and put them together in this house and paired them up right away and they started sleeping together in the same bed. Anyway, it was I couldn't possibly watch any more of it than the part we watched, but it was appalling. Every single one of the women listed among the things that she wanted necessarily had to have was that the guy be taller than her. I thought that is so unfair. Well, there is a video of me that you can see. It's not exactly a photo per se. The video of me talking on Arcadia High School news. Am I lazy? Oh, Carlos is lazy. I always stay approximately the same weight. Like these days, right now, I'm not eating a whole lot for some reason. If I can find it, yeah. Hmm. Huh. Okay. Here it is. I found it. I'll put it on the.
Putting on the parties is to give us a call, give us a phone number, so if we receive any complaints at the beginning, we can call them and tell them to either quieten down or it's becoming out of hand. And at that point, we have to respond on the second time to the location is when we would assess the fees for the damaged property or the officers, etc.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I hope you're aware of the new law that will be enacted in February, so next time you hold a party, give the police a call beforehand, and beware the consequences if they have to come more than once to break up your party. Now back to the studio. Thanks, Christy. Okay, you've heard the police's opinion of the new law and why they enacted it, and we wanted to find out what students at Arcadia High thought. So with me I have Eric Strauss, Jeremiah Carroll, Buffy Knott, Sam Matranga, and Rita Gatto. And Eric, what is your opinion of the new law?
Well, the First Amendment of the Constitution guarantees essentially that people have the right to peacefully assemble, and a party should be considered a peaceful assembly unless there is injury being given to other human beings, and in most parties that's not the case. So the law is pretty much, I think, unconstitutional and should be abolished.
Okay, and Jeremiah, what do you think?
Well, I don't really appreciate paying money for the police department. It's kind of ridiculous. They should be not breaking up parties, going after the criminals, the robbers, the murders, all that stuff. Breaking up parties is kind of ridiculous. And paying money, I'm totally against that. Thank you.
This guy.
Thank you. And Buffy, what's your opinion?
That guy is so funny. Inside Elizabeth Montgomery's untold crazy sex life. So, as you can see, I was right about that law. I was right then, and I'm right now. Show of hands. I was right? Yes, I was. But what I said was right on the money. You know, it's like that was our high school news that it played on the TV in the morning and during high school every day. Right, at 17, I'm really proud of my 17-year-old self for that answer. So, good job, Eric. I was so stoked when somebody shared that clip with me on Facebook. I was like, oh my God, I had no recollection of ever doing this thing, you know? Bitcoin's up another 3%. Man. I used to say things like, if I had money to invest, I'd meow. Now I just don't even bother saying that. I just go, well, another missed opportunity. Yeah, it was like 88 probably. 1988. Of course, Arcadia was so full of keggers and stuff every weekend that the cops were trying to get, it had some new law where you're supposed to call them and tell them before you have your party. I don't know what happened with the law, but freaking Arcadia. That's all I can say about Arcadia. Is what a horrible place. It looked like it kind of, huh, Hair Lamb? I had a lot more hair then, obviously. A lot more hair. That's one area in which I had a lot more hair on top, a lot less hair on my face. Gold is somewhat up in the atmosphere right now. We have some gold, but not a lot of it. Oh, money. Money makes me feel stressed out. Like, we should be capitalizing right now on things, just everything going up, you know? But it kind of feels like oh, you look like a politician in a weird way. Like Republicans kid, but your dad wasn't Republican. Well, my dad was Republican. He just wasn't what you would consider. He wasn't like into Fox News or anything like that. He wasn't into bullshit. He was pretty liberty minded, especially for an ESTJ, you know, for an ex military ESTJ. He was quite liberty minded. And a fan of the Second Amendment, as we learned after he died, he had several guns in the house I did not know about. All locked and loaded. I guess in case he felt the need to shoot somebody. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap it up because I do have a lot of stuff to do today. And I want to watch this cartoon. I guess I'm going to wait for Rachel to get up, take a shower, and there's the big question. Should I wait for her to get up, take a shower, go take a shower, have sexual intercourse, and then start doing chores? I'm kind of wondering if that's going to just make me feel less energetic. You know, a lot of times I fall right asleep after I have sexual intercourse. Just like, on the other hand, I don't know. So, anyway, thanks all for being here. I love you all. I'll see you later. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.